Hi, my name is Jeremy Meyer, and today I will be explaining why three modern beekeeping techniques are contributing to bee decline. So, the three techniques we're going to be talking about is migratory bee farming, auto honey hives, and thermosolar hives. Migratory bee farming is when throughout the year you move your hives, as seen in the picture, on a truck or whatever, to a different region with maybe a better climate for the time of year. And so what this does, it creates a more predictable and consistent environment for the bees to thrive in. Next, the auto honey hives. These are hives with built-in combs that are able to be filled in by the rest of the bees. And if you turn a lever, the combs shift and the honey will go down into a valve and you can collect it really easily. And then finally, we have thermosolar hives. And these are hives that use solar energy to maintain a temperature that is too high for varroa mites, but is more or less harmless to the bees themselves. So it's a very effective way to allow the bees to thrive without the threat of varroa mites destroying the colony. So first, we will look at migratory beekeeping. In the United States, it's mostly alternating between moving them from either the west to the northeast, or basically just south to north or north to south, just depending on the time of year. But the reason that this could contribute to bee decline is when you transport these bees so often, the risk that any damages will happen, like say a hive falls out of the truck that it's being transported in, it grows exponentially. So the danger to the bees is relatively increased when you're constantly moving them around. All right. Next, we have auto honey hives. These are, as you can see in the diagram, the honeycombs are partially completed. And then when you pull the lever, it shifts them, so thus breaking the wax that the bees fill it in with and allowing the honey to just flow to the bottom. And this is actually an extremely efficient way to just easily gather honey while simultaneously protecting the bees' well-being. But what can happen is if you aren't careful, and this could be a really big threat, if you aren't careful when you're extracting the honey, it could end up taking too much honey from the hive. And then after that, the bees will either run out of food during the winter or anything like that, and then they would starve to death. So there runs a high risk using these, because in case you take out too much honey, it'll end up negatively affecting the bees. And finally, we have thermosolar hives. These maintain a temperature more or less equal to what you see in the picture here. But a big problem with these is the fact that with technology like this and it being outside, you run the risk of having a technological malfunction. So maybe the temperature will end up being too low to where it doesn't effectively take care of the varroa mites, or it could be too high to where it hurts not only the varroa mites but the entire colony population as well. But in addition to that, since it's solar powered, you run the risk of maybe during winter, if there's a lot of overcast, the hive just not doing its job and not being able to keep the temperature up because it doesn't have enough energy. And so that would just mean it's just a normal hive with no varroa protection. And so thus the hive would probably suffer. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have for y'all today. Yeah.